Poppy Playtime has been one of the biggest gaming hits lately, and a bunch of you guys have been wanting to uncover the dark truth behind it. Is Huggy actually Poppy's father? Is he actually human? Is he actually created from one of the orphans? Is Poppy evil or good? Was she the mastermind behind all of this? So I did some research and compiled a bunch of theories from you guys, some comments, posts, and also other YouTubers. And I came out with some of the darkest theories so you guys don't have to. So here it is. Let me know if you have other theories and what you guys think as well. This is the dark truth of Poppy Playtime by Thegametheoriest. So how did Wuggy go from this to this? Did he just randomly come to life? This toy was an experiment that went wrong, but what made it different from other toys? Wuggy was actually a toy with a digestive system, meaning it was a living organic creature that was different from other toys, and that's why when it falls like this clip in the game, it's bleeding. He also kills for fun and doesn't have the need to eat like others. But the thing is, how are these toys turning into living creatures? We were introduced earlier into this cute toy named Poppy. She was created in the 1950s to 60s. She was made for children, and she could answer them back with questions and answers. But the thing is, that's kind of weird back in the day, right? In the teaser of the game, we see that Poppy was introduced, but then when the plug was taken out of her neck, there was dripping blood. That means Poppy was also a living organism. And she was actually this girl called Stella. Like for part 2. Woo! The Dark Theory of Poppy Playtime Part 2. So now we know that Wuggy and Poppy are both living creatures, right? But did you ever imagine how Poppy came about? Why do you think her eyes kind of look like human eyes? So in the game, there was this girl named Stella Graybur which was obsessed with living forever. She was part of the company making toys for kids and she took part of the experiment. Instead of just using her digestive system, they also used her eyes for Poppy. And that's why Poppy's eyes are actually hers. This would make sense as to why they bleed when they get hurt. Stella was probably happy about being turned into a toy, but unhappy when she got locked up away from other people. At the end of chapter 1, when you complete the game, she says, "You opened my case," in a very grateful voice, as her intention was to come out to society and make kids happy forever. And during the game, we get these screens of people telling us, "I need you alive," and death is impermanent. They're probably from Stella. And the voice actor for Stella is actually the same one as Poppy. Woo! Here's some fun facts that are not fun about Poppy Playtime. Part 3. So previously we were talking about some theories made by game theorists about how Poppy is actually a living organism, right? And about how Stella is a girl that's trapped inside Poppy. But now look at this to back it up. This is a video of Poppy's trailer, but when you reverse it, it gets really creepy.
Playtime! Poppy's as lovable as a real girl, and she talks like one too.
Dark theories on Poppy Playtime Part 4. What if Poppy is actually the mastermind behind controlling all the other toys such as Wuggy and others? This is a theory by SuperHorrorbro. Did you notice that Wuggy doesn't attack players right away? He only does so and he waits until we're close to getting Poppy. Right before we reach Poppy's room, why do you think there are a bunch of writings on the wall telling us to go away and not come close to her? What if one of the reasons as to why Poppy is locked up is because she's so powerful that she could control the minds of other toys? In other words, she could be the center of the advanced AI system. Or she could even control the minds of others near her. Which leads to the possibility that Poppy is the one who wrote the letter to send to us. If you didn't notice, the letter had a lot of misspellings. And as she was in a doll, maybe it was difficult for her to fully control her movements. That's why the misspelling. So Poppy is actually the mastermind. She sent that letter for us to come all the way to the factory so that we could free her and then she could escape. Poppy is using us, and maybe Wuggy isn't that bad after all. Maybe Wuggy is just under the control of Poppy. Woo! The Dark Theory of Poppy Playtime Part 5. Previously we mentioned that Wuggy is a living organism, right? Basically when he hurts himself, he bleeds. Which means Huggy has veins running through his body and not just a toy. The question was Huggy created out of living tissue to look like other dolls, or was there something else? Maybe Huggy was created out of the ex-employees who didn't follow the rules. There could be a possibility that Poppy Playtime took this from Five Nights at Freddy with the scientist. The idea that the scientist was stuffing human remains in the toys themselves, and then continuously to put wires in them to make them move. But the thing is, Huggy Wuggy's teeth seem really realistic and he's able to drool, so what could that actually be? And if you look closely at his eyes, you can actually see eyeballs. Dark Theory of Poppy Playtime Part 6. Have you wondered what role we are in this game? Are we human? Are we rescuers? What are we? Do you realize we don't really pant or scream or anything when we meet Huggy or the other monster? Usually in a horror game, you'll hear some sort of effects from the protagonist, right? What if we're actually a toy? And what if we're one of the ex-employees as well? In the beginning of the game, if you see Huggy's eyes, there's a reflection. Maybe that's a reflection of another set of eyes, us. Or maybe someone is living in his body. If you look at his texture file, you'll see that there's only one set of eyes. This was provided by It's Just Jord on YouTube, but you will also see two types of Huggies, a scary one and a normal one. Plus, a female fowl of Huggy Wuggy. And also throughout the whole game, we could only see our hands as the toy hands, so maybe we are a toy. Dark Theories on Poppy Playtime Part 7. This theory is by Tericho. Have you ever wondered where most of these toys came about from? If you notice one of the posters from the Playtime company, it encourages adoption. Being a factory that creates toys, it's no surprise that they have a care initiative for orphans. I mean, this kind of justifies why they want to help orphans, but the thing is, were they really trying to help orphans, or maybe it's a disguise to hide something even bigger? We learned that before the whole incident happened, there were boxes that were brought into the factory and those had something to do with orphans. These boxes came in different sizes, most of them were like medium, but they never really mentioned what it was for. So what if these orphans were actually in these boxes and they were being turned into toys? What if the scientists brought these orphans in as part of their research and then turned them into these hybrid toys, which most of them have failed? Thus why we see a lot of dead toys around the factory. Obviously the factory is thinking of their business, more kids meaning more sales, meaning more toys. And especially the scientist, she was trying to create something that will last forever. So they probably used orphans, made them into toy hybrids so that they can interact with kids more and respond to their needs. And this is how Huggy Wuggy was created. Dark Theories behind Poppy Playtime Part 8. So Huggy Wuggy was supposed to be a prototype, right? So maybe instead of being a toy, he was supposed to be a pet. Basically a living, breathing thing that's able to cater to kids' needs and stay around for a very long time while interact with them and accompany them. Probably the scientists from Playtime Co. wanted to do so that they could increase their sales. This is why when you look at Huggy Wuggy, you see that he has these weird looking teeth that kind of resemble humans. And also in his eyes, they kind of look like real eyes too. And what if the more Huggy Wuggy eats, the smarter he actually becomes? As in, if he devours more, he becomes more human. Maybe this is in a way so that he can become more powerful and intelligent, which is close to being a human itself. Poppy Playtime Dark Theories Part 9. What is Experiment 1006? Every time you die in this game, you get a black screen that says death isn't permanent or get up and things like that. But sometimes you get this thing saying Experiment 1006. The thing is, in one of the last tapes that you'll find, you'll see someone talking about the Experiment 1006. And they talk about a prototype that got lost, but what is 1006? It can't be Huggy Wuggy because in the tape itself, you can actually hear Huggy Wuggy killing people in the background. And they also say that this experiment is seen to be able to coordinate, so meaning they're kind of intelligent. So what if we're 1006? That means we're also a toy. So that means maybe we were smart enough to escape, but we came back for a reason, or we never left the factory this whole time. Poppy Playtime Dark Theories Part 10. Huggy Wuggy is actually intelligent and Huggy Wuggy is actually a good guy. He doesn't chase us in the beginning, he only chases us when we're almost near Poppy. So right before we're about to reach Poppy, we see these writings on the wall telling us not to go near her and to run and go away. You think the staff members have time to write these? I mean, if they're about to escape, they wouldn't take their time to run away while being there, they'll just be running away. And sometimes you could even see the words "I'm starving" on the walls. who's starving? No one else is alive in the warehouse. It's likely that Huggy was the one who wrote these for us, and also Huggy's not on Poppy's side. As mentioned before, Poppy is probably the mastermind that controls most of the toys, and Huggy is one of her jailers. If Huggy was really on Poppy's side, he would have freed her long ago, but why wouldn't he? Because he knows that Poppy is actually super dangerous. So by the time we're about to approach Poppy, he appears trying to chase us away actually. And because he's been there for so long, he gets hungry and starts eating things and going on a rampage. But I don't actually believe he's evil. I think he's just hungry. And probably he doesn't really know what to do. Dark Theory of Poppy Playtime Part 11, and this one's by Tericho. There might be a reason why Poppy is named Poppy. Poppy symbolizes two things. Number one, being a flower. So during World War II, poppy flowers were often used in England as a resemblance of death and remembrance. Number two, in ancient times they resemble eternal sleep, which is why when we finally see Poppy at the end, she's deep in her sleep. This could mean that Poppy was dead from her human form, Stella, the scientist, into eternal sleep. Which then after that, her as the mastermind as usual is waiting for us to come and deliver her and free her from this factory place. So at the end of the day, she's just controlling us and we're probably an escaped toy. So the real battle is probably with Poppy and not the game. So possibly in chapter 2, after we free Poppy, something bad's gonna happen. Now, what do you guys think is gonna happen in the next chapter? Let me know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to turn on the bell and subscribe.
Don't forget to check out our other channels for more roleplay and comedy content.